Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it is September 6th, 2021, ready to take it on. Episode number 4,350. It is a Monday here in the States. It is a holiday. It is Labor Day. So we're going to take it a little easy today. Yes, it is a holiday, so it's actually a day of rest from labor. But there are some things that we need to cover. I've got a big week planned for you this week, even though it is Labor Day. We're going to be getting into this idea of this month health, right? We're going to really dive into it. And this week, we're going to spend a lot of time on understanding that health is wealth and why that's so important. Tomorrow, we're going to continue with our book study, Alchemy, right? Part 4. Again, you don't have to go grab the books. I kind of go through them, but we try to do one book every month. And, this one's a little bit bigger, so we're spending a couple months on it. We'll hammer that tomorrow. Wednesday, we've got what can you do today to increase your vibrance? It's going to be a good one. That just word is cool, vibrance. Thursday, of course, is Ask a JB. Friday, we've got health and prosperity. How are they correlated? Saturday, professional health experts and you. And then finally, Sunday, sacred eating. What does that mean, and what do we do with that, and how does that fit into what we're doing? It's a big week. It's a big week. So let's get into it. Couple things real quick. As it is Labor Day, it is a holiday. I just want to give a shout out to Ivan Ramirez. Ivan, we've been working together for a few months now, won the Venezuelan Open by 4, which was fantastic to see. He's got a lot of potential. There's going to be a lot of great things coming his way. So that was awesome. And Richard Manziel out there came back. We're starting to work together. And he really had a nice run over the last 3 days this weekend to come back and finish 12th over there across the pond in Europe. So that was great. Love to see success and people getting better. That's what we're about. And us here at Morning Coach, we're going to spend some time on health this week and understand the correlation between productivity and health. And I think the key word that we always talk about in our meetings and things we're doing is this holistic aspect of things. So as we get into the December planning here later on and we start really working on our life wheel and understanding, which areas that we want to work on, there's one that kind of really is important no matter what else is going on. I'm talking about financially, relationship-wise, spiritually. If we don't have health, then it really throws everything off, right? So it's one of those foundational pieces that we got to continue to work to get better at. And obviously, with the way the world is today, we're in the middle of a pandemic and things that are going on, it should be a motivating factor to get our health a little bit better, right? And I really struggle here in the United States because we have a real, bad problem with obesity. We've got over 40% of the population in the United States is obese. That's the latest numbers. They're now saying it's upward to 50%, and that means people are diabetic and just not healthy. And one of the things I always say is it's not about being a supermodel. It's not about the vanity of health. It's about you finding health and what works for you. Everybody works a little differently. Like I said, sometimes I like a little caffeine because it gets my mind kind of focused in a little bit. So everybody works a little differently with the way their bodies are. And that's what I want to talk about today is really about figuring out what works for you. And we can all get a little healthier, okay? We can all get a little healthier. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but again, repetition is really the foundational piece of learning. And we're going to continue to repeat the specific things that are going to help you because, again, what did I just mention was even when we do our life wheel and we look at the areas that we should be working on, health is one that should always be there. It's the foundational piece. If you don't have health, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how great your relationships are. There's just no foundation of vibrance, right? And so health is really critical. And again, we can all get healthier. And the tip I'm going to give you today, which is an interesting one, back in the day, a good friend of mine who was actually in Inner Circle with us, and it was a founding Inner Circle way back when, member was Billy Beck III. And Billy used to come speak at my events. And we were, really good friends. I haven't spoken to Billy a lot because he now works with Tony Robbins every day. Like he literally travels around the world with him. He's Tony Robbins' personal trainer. And so he literally is with him every day. It's like he's on staff with him every day. But when Billy was here in Florida, before he really took off with Tony and started traveling all over the world, Tony, we went to the grocery store and he picked out food for me and showed me what to eat. And it was a great trip to go understand, where you should buy things from and what you need from a health perspective, right? And one of the things he always said was eat on the outsides of the grocery store, meaning don't go in the aisles. And if you think about that, all the aisles are all the processed foods, in the middle, right? You think about it, they're the bags, the cans, they're all processed and stored foods. But on the outside, you have your fruits and vegetables, you have your meats, you have your dairy products, and your cheeses all around the outside of the grocery store, the outside aisles. And so Billy would always tell me, for your health, when you go to the grocery store, if you're finding yourself going in the middle aisles, you're buying the wrong things, right? And it was interesting because it did change the way and my approach to the grocery store. Do I still buy stuff in the middle aisles? Of course, there's some of that junk food that, I'll get once in a while. But primarily when I go to the grocery store, and I do Costco, right? In case if you're out of the United States, Costco is like a big wholesaler where you can buy, bulk products. And basically what I do is at my local grocery store, which is a Publix, I'll go in and I go straight to the back right, which is all the vegetables. And that's where I get a lot of vegetables. And typically I buy green peppers, tomatoes, onions. I have the same pattern, and my lettuce and my spinach, right? Because I eat a salad almost every single day. That's just the way I eat. And then I go around to the left. Now I buy my meat at a wholesaler at Costco, so typically don't buy any meat. And then I'll go to the egg section and I'll get some eggs. I'll get eggs a lot at Costco also. Then once I have that, it's actually the second stop, and I do this every 2 weeks. The first stop is Costco. And when I go to Costco, I go straight to the back. Same thing outside of the Costco, which has everything. But back in the back is where the grocery store is. I go back to the meat section and I get my organic chicken and I get my ribeye steak. And typically what I do is I buy ribeye in bulk and then I cut it up and I vacuum seal it. Now, why do I do all this? Well, because it saves me a lot of money and time. By buying my chicken and fish in bulk, I buy the salmon there, I buy the mahi there, I buy the chicken there, and I buy the ribeye steak. And that's typically what my protein of the day is, okay? I'm going to eat, let's say, ribeye. What we'll do is we'll cook 2 ribeyes. So I've got it here for both of us, and I'll cook 2 ribeyes. If you've got a family, then obviously you cook more, and that's what we eat lunch and dinner. I basically create the same meal. So you have a salad and a ribeye. And what the cost is about $6 to $7 per meal for everything. And if you compare that to like fast food and you went and got a Big Mac and some fries and a Pepsi, it's about the same price. So I shop on the outsides, but I also am very detailed in what I'm buying. Does it get boring a little bit? Yes, but it's healthy eating. So I'm typically eating a salad and a ribeye steak. Some quinoa is usually my carbs. I do like potatoes, so every once in a while I'll have potato. Sweet potato is better than regular potato, but I don't eat a lot of carbs. But I'll make that, and either I'll make it in the air fryer or I'll cook it on the grill. So the next day then is chicken day. Okay, I'll take out a couple chicken breasts. I'll make the chicken breasts. I've got my salad. I have all my salad in containers. So every 2 weeks, I'm changing it out. I get about 8 tomatoes, 2 onions, 3 or 4 green peppers, and have it all ready, and they're in a container. So when I'm ready to eat, I just go make my ribeye steak. Let's say it's ribeye day. I go grab the salad. I just take the lettuce and I take all the containers out and I have the salad. I chop up the tomatoes, the onions, the green peppers, mushrooms, whatever I want to put in that salad for that day. And then I put that back in the storage containers, and the vegetables usually last about 1.5 to 2 weeks. And I will go usually on a Monday because I don't like to go on the weekend. And so I've got this down to routine. So I go to the grocery store and I work the outside of the aisles. I go get and it's just quick, right? It's just fast. And so my trip then takes me to the big store, and I get my ribeyes, my chicken, my mahi, and my salmon. So that way I've got the kind of the proteins. And every once in a while I'll get Brussels sprouts or something else in bulk that that I'll use. put that in the back of the car, and then I head over to the grocery store and I get my vegetables from the grocery store and then head back to the house, organize everything and put it away, and I'm set for the week. And now I've got my food. Now, if you've got to travel, like if you're traveling, one of the things I do is I'll get a salad with a chicken breast or a salad with a steak or a salad with ahi tuna, right? That's typically what I'll eat. So you can do the same thing, one thing of protein and a salad, okay? And again, getting to know your body is the critical thing. Like what works for you? What gives you the energy? That's what fuels me. And by the way, my breakfast is pretty similar. It's 2 eggs and about 4 egg whites. And I buy the egg whites in a carton. So the egg whites are already like a little milk carton. I buy them in bulk also. So I'm at Costco. And the whole food for me and Pilar, right, 2 of us, typically I'm spending about $500 per month, $500-600. And it's really great food. And we don't eat out much. We just don't, because I prepare the food in advance and have the food ready, and it just works. And same thing, if you get up and you prepare your lunch, you can do it the night before or the day of, and you can take a chicken breast and a salad, and you've got a great meal. And that's the thing. People say, when I'm traveling, it's hard to eat. Everywhere you go has a chicken breast and a salad, okay? So you can always get that, and you can always find a place where you can get that type of meal. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, that's when it gets really challenging. I used to be a pescatarian before I met Sir, but I can't keep weight on. When I run 3 miles a day, go to the gym, play golf 5 days a week, I have to have protein. Also, I have liquid shakes. So I'll have 1 or 2 liquid protein shakes a day, okay? So I know what works for me. I don't want food to be an issue. Like I want to keep it simple, and I want to keep things organized. Also, I have a smoothie in the morning. So my eggs in the morning, my smoothie in the morning, then I have my protein shake. Then typically I'll have lunch around 1-2 o'clock. Then I'll have another protein shake, and then I'll eat a little bit of food about 6-7 o'clock at night. That's how I eat, and I eat a little bit throughout the day. I'm a big nut guy, so I have a lot of nuts containers out where I can eat cashews or almonds or peanuts or whatever, and that way, if I'm hungry, I eat that food. So why am I telling you all this? Because I want you to get a system for your eating and not rely on the outside. When you rely on the outside, it's a problem. Are you going to cheat once in a while? Yeah, I had a fantasy football draft yesterday at my buddy's, and they had pizza. So I'm going to eat pizza once in a while. I'm going to cheat once in a while. But, 6 days of the week, I want to be scheduled and not have to worry about food. I don't want to be thinking about what I'm going to be eating. And if you got a family, that planning of food is really critical to really spend some time, because I'm telling you, the scope creep, and we call scope creep when you have a plan and then all of a sudden it goes a different direction. When it comes to groceries, can get crazy, And one last tip I'm going to give you when you're at the grocery store is you eat outside of the aisles. The other thing you do is never go to the grocery store hungry. That creates impulse buys. Okay, so if you're hungry, you're going to see a lot of things and you're going to bring a lot of stuff home. And that's not what we want to do. We want to be planned, and we want to be structured in our health. We want to know what we're eating. We don't want to have to think, right? That's the issue. And again, we don't want to be OCD about this, but we do want some structure so that you don't have to think. Again, everything we're doing is to keep things simple so you can free up time to become more productive, to be able to do the things you need to do, and really get better at the things that are going to generate revenue and make you more of the professional. Food is one of those things. One last note is, before we close out the day here on Labor Day, delivery services. I will do a delivery service every once in a while. The problem I have with delivery services is they get boring sometimes. It kind of seems like the same food coming all the time. So I typically don't do that anymore, because I find that it's even more inexpensive for me to buy my food. I can choose the ribeye, I can choose the salmon, I can choose the steaks. I have a vacuum sealer, so I vacuum seal stuff. It just works for me better. But I don't mind a delivery service. We use Delivery Lean here in South Florida if it fits into your schedule, okay? So again, people always say that eating is expensive and good food is expensive. It's not if you plan. It's not if you plan. And that's what I want you to take away from this Labor Day. I know it's a day off and I'm on a roll here, but it's something that I think is really important for you to be the best you can possibly be, is to really take care of your health. And you are what you eat. and organizing the consumption of what you're going to eat is so critical. Okay, so let's have a great Labor Day. I love you, I do, and I'll be back with more right here tomorrow to get you going. We got the book study tomorrow, but today, eat on the outside of those aisles, okay? If you take one tip away, use that one. Okay, I love you. Go do it to it.